On the eve of the 19th Annual National Day of Protest to Stop Police Brutality, Repression, and Criminalization of a Generation, a defiant new spirit is in the air. In Ferguson, Missouri, people continue to rise in outrage against the killing of Mike Brown, an unarmed 18-year-old black youth who is just days away from starting college. Despite the rapid and ruthless militarization of the town by racist police and the National Guard, people defied curfews, tear gas, which is also used in Gaza, rubber bullets, and calls for a return to business as usual, as oppression as usual. By protesting and rebelling for 10 consecutive sweltering nights in August, thousands from around the country gathered in Ferguson this past weekend to stand in solidarity with the brave people of Ferguson. These are the moments where the decades of racist abuse, criminalization, and police terror at the hands of this system come crashing against fearless resistance from the very people it seeks to control, inspiring justice, seeking people not just nationwide, but around the world. The National Day of Protest was founded to oppose exactly these kinds of abuses. This year, in big cities and small towns, including San Diego, in the face of police brutality against San Diego law enforcement and Border Patrol, repression, mass incarceration, and the criminalization of youth, we say, let the spirit of Ferguson ignite hearts nationwide with an uncompromising passion for justice. So a comrade of mine is going to be emceeing with me. He's worked with Students in Power to get them established at City College. He's also part of the International Socialist Organization. We can welcome Tony Perez.
Hi there, how's everybody doing tonight? So I'm just here to help MC, and I'm actually just here to introduce the next speaker. The next speaker is a very important person in the community, a leading activist who's been fighting around very important issues in the community, fighting in the movement for the 15 an hour at 15 an hour at the job and the right to a union. Also fighting for immigrant rights and different fronts around the community. Also somebody who's not afraid, who has to stand in solidarity and hold the police accountable when they need to be. And so this is somebody also who is gonna run a campaign here. He's gonna run for city council in 2016, District 9. A different kind of campaign, a grassroots campaign run by people like us from the movement, from the bottom up, to represent the 99% and over the 1%'s interest, right? A different type of campaign. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Sandra Galindo. Sandra Galindo.
¡Que baile!
Good evening, sisters and brothers. Before I start, I need to say thank you for being here tonight. And I need to ask you for solidarity with our 43 missing student teachers in Ayotzinapa, Guerrero, Mexico. They are some of the latest victims of our binational system of oppression, where impunity for the theft of lives like this, it's an everyday reality. And where our government, the government of Mexico and the government of the United States are partners in this impunity. Yes. With the same fundamental interests. Ayotzinapa, solidaridad.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here tonight filled with anger and outrage if the police terror hadn't affected our communities. if these institutionalized abuses hadn't become the norm in the United States today. But we have witnessed our law enforcement treating the general public as enemy combatants because they are covered by the criminal police code of silence, a protocol that fosters and rewards them with impunity for the crimes they have committed. We are forced to live in our communities as a second-class citizens with many abuses in our neighborhoods. First of all, we have a police department who has shown negligence in addressing the sexual harassment and violence that the San Diego women have been subject to by multiple officers, including officers in the sex crimes unit. Our neighborhood is also suffering the curfew sweeps that only exist to introduce our people of color to the mass incarceration system. Even scientific studies show that they are not useful, since most of the juvenile crime in San Diego happens outside of the curfew hours. Recent reports from the San Diego Police Department have proved that the majority of the stops by police in our neighborhoods are racially motivated. And we refuse to accept that it's normal to suffer just because you are a minority in San Diego. It seems that there is a phobia against our people that grows from wearing the police uniform, and we only get a look of arrogance from our officials. As Latinos, we know that for the color of our skin and where we come from, we are a necessary ingredient in their incarceration business. A business where more than 35,000 immigrants are kept in detention centers every day to pay the detention bed mandate necessary to have the largest immigration detention infrastructure in the world. Lean esto también, okay? We feel rage when we see the Border Patrol chasing our people or conducting raids disturbing our poor households, or when we see our compatriots being locked in kennel-type cars como perreras, as if they were worth nothing, for the only sin of being poor and working without documents in this country. They consider our people criminal, but to us, immigrants are heroes fighting for their families. Who can blame them for wanting the best for their children, for wanting to feed them? Isn't it enough for them to live in the shadows, to be separated from their families, or to be abused and robbed by greedy bosses who exploit them when they know they are undocumented? They should have protected rights too. But many of them have been killed along the border under suspicious circumstances while in custody of U.S. border agents. Anastasio Hernandez Rojas was one of them. The excessive force, torture, and painful murder to which Hernandez was subjected at the hands of about 15 Border Patrol agents was a barbaric killing, which has yet to see justice in spite of being seen by tens of thousands of people, thanks to a video taken and shared on YouTube by a student eyewitness. It's not a surprise to us, because the Border Patrol and police agents share the same pattern of abuse. They feel protected because they have been trained to kill if they feel that their lives are in danger, and that makes them act with impunity. And the top officers and supervisors are guilty too, since they could hold their officers accountable and change the deadly culture of shoot first and ask questions later, but they don't do anything about it. We have a serious structural violence in San Diego, a serious problem. And whoever represents these districts needs to be a person who represents the hardest working people and the most underrepresented in labor. Yes. Somebody who can give dignity to our large undocumented population in this city. Los que hacen el trabajo más duro y por lo regular los menos pagados en este país. A person who can put limits on how police can harass our community. Someone who can propose not to have curfew sweeps and who makes a commitment to stop the racial profiling against our communities. and works to take strong measures to prevent sexual attacks from police officers. Until now, in District 9, Democrats and Republicans have shown that they cannot work together to improve our communities. I don't need to remind you that if the impunity of our police officer continues, the abuses will continue to happen. We need to ensure that our rights will be respected. That is why it's important for all of us who are reunited here to be empowered with other communities who have the same struggle as us. We are here to speak up against injustice and oppression and to ask for justice for those murdered in police and border patrol agents' custody. They cannot die in vain. Michael Brown's killing wasn't unique. The statistics tell us hundreds of people, and especially young black men, are murdered every year by officers of the United States law enforcement. The reason Michael Brown has the attention of the nation is because his people in Ferguson have refused to let him die without justice.
Right. Yeah.
We must all join those people in that spirit and continue to demand change in policy until there are no more tragedies like the death of Mike Brown. For that, we need representation. We need to elect people who are not paid by wealthy donors and business interest dollars, but who are supported by the people and ready to represent the people. Somebody who includes all the people who is struggling in City Heights for a better San Diego, that includes all of us. Thank you.
Sandra's campaign, you know what, they have taken a very strong initiative to address the issues of police brutality, especially in City Heights. You can visit her table, that is to my right, your left. Again, it's for City Council, District 9 for City Heights, and I'm very grateful that she is running. So let's give it up for Sandra. I know that we've touched on the death of Mike Brown, but I want to highlight a banner which can never be big enough. These here are the recorded victims of who have been murdered by San Diego law enforcement. The list is not long enough. We must fight for these local victims as well. We come together from national calls of action, but this is a local issue. This affects all of us. We cannot trust the police, and I can't emphasize enough. In this rally, do not talk to police. You have no obligation to talk to police. If a police officer approaches you, do not say anything. Say, "Am I free to go?" If they say no, ask if you're being detained. You don't have to necessarily ask them for ID unless you are being detained. That's for one. For two, if they make conversation with you, saying, "Hey, let me talk to you. Do you need anything?" I know they have to me at rallies. You don't owe them a thing. Do not owe them a thing. Don't talk to them at all. No matter how much anybody you know or yourself can trust the police are trained never to trust you. And that is the truth. So some of you know, I'm also with an organization known as Affirm. We're the San Diego chapter. We are an anti-imperialist, anti-militarization feminist group. We talk about women's issues regarding the border. We talk about marginalized immigrant women of color issues. And police brutality and militarization is a women's issue. So I just want to read something really quick and then we'll get to our next speaker. We affirm, as Affirm, that state violence in all forms is violence against transnational women of color. We have a long experience of the predatory and brutal nature of this state's armed forces of coercion, from local police to Border Patrol to such agencies as ICE and Homeland Security. Unless these agencies reorient their targets towards those who are the real perpetrators, those who hold the power of migration, sex trafficking, and prostitution, security issues, and until such a time these agencies learn to actually protect and serve victims and the exploited, we refuse to combine with them in any way. We understand that we as women, women of color, as immigrant women, are targeted. From the missing and murdered women and children whose cases are never covered, to the burden placed on the victim to get justice when it comes to the abuse and sexual violence, to the criminalization of those who are trafficked and prostituted. We stand against occupation and militarization of our communities, and we look towards transformative justice for ourselves and our communities. We deserve the right to have our children and be able to be safe and healthy in our environment. And police brutality is a reproductive justice issue. So I want to give a statistic about women in prison and criminalization. More than 9% of reports of police misconduct in 2010 involved sexual abuse, making it second most reported form of misconduct after excessive force. Comparing that data to the FBI, crime statistics indicates that sexual assault rates are significantly higher among police when compared to the general population. Police are called when reporting sexual assaults. Do you think that makes sense?
Los queremos vivos.
Los queremos vivos.
So, I want to introduce a remarkable woman. She's from California Families Against Solitary Confinement. Her fight is personal. Her fight is political. Martha, can you please come up? She's got some very special things to share. Y'all listen up.
Good evening. My name is Martha Esquivel, and the way that I know today, you guys remember the one that police killed. I'm part of California Families Against Solitary Confinement, and I don't know how many of you hear about the hunger strikes on 2011, July 2011, and that's when Pelican Bay State Prison decided to end the solitary confinement, the silence in prison, because they've been tortured day by day, 24, almost 22 to 24 hours in isolation. And that's when families from prisoners decide to support them. And my brother is inside Pelican Bay, and it's still almost 16 years, going to 17 years inside a box with no windows and no visiting, only through a glass. I was thinking, right today we are remember those who's been killed by police, and it just make me think that police brutality is not only outside prison but inside prison. These guys, they got killed with one bullet. My brother and thousands of them, they are being killing slowly because they've been inside solitary confinement 17 to 20 to 40 years. We have they share with us 5 demands. It was human demands. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 hunger strikes. We're still fighting until we meet the 5 demands that take the prisoner in California to not only 1 but 3 hunger strike. The last one lasts almost 60 days without food. Our job is not done. If you have a loved one inside prison, they're not dead, but the box that they are inside is almost like a coffin. So I just wanna share with you guys, if you guys have a loved one in prison, don't let them die alone. And I have cards, so you can go online and get more information. Thank you.
The next speaker is a student from City College who's recently been getting involved with the club Students in Power. Her name's Veronica. Please welcome Veronica.
I'm not a public speaker, so I'm a little nervous. But I want to say, when white people see the police, they see protect and serve integrity and America's finest. When we see police, it's a different matter. It's dread, it's fear, it's who gonna get shot, who gonna be laying on the ground, whose pockets they going through, whose phones are they going through. These people hate us. This is a business, people. We are a commodity. We are a revenue, an asset. The prison system is an invisible slave system. We are not free in America if you are of color. We are in an invisible prison. We are free to walk around, but they ride through our neighborhoods with cars and guns, and it's the Ku Klux Klan, people. They just in blue. They are no longer wearing white sheets. This is the Ku Klux Klan. They hate you. They would like to fire into this crowd right now. Shoot me, shoot you, shoot your babies. They will be on the 6 o'clock news talking about it was a justified killing. What are we gonna do? People, Mexicans, red and black, we got to stand together. We cannot fight this as one group. We have to fight them as a whole people. People of color, you need to wake up. These people are making money. You got judges, you got lawyers, you got the guards, you got transportation cops, you got police, nurses, whoever you can think in the judicial system. This is a business, people. They are killing us. They are taking the youngest and the strongest out of our groups. What are we going to be left with? Nothing. Because I'm an old lady now. What are y'all going to do? We need to quit. You need to start policing yourself. Have respect for yourself. When I was young, we hustled because we was hungry. You had to put food on the table, buy your kids some shoes. Y'all out here hustling so you can get rims on your car and gold around your neck. And if you is hustling, is you taking care of your children. Half of you don't even see your damn kids, and you wonder what's going on. You have to start at home, people. Look at your kids. Half of them look crazy. You walking around, you scared to say something to them, but the white people done told you don't beat your kids. Beat your damn kids, else the police is gonna beat them. People, wake up. We need to stick together, Mexicans and blacks. I don't know why we hate each other, but we need to stop it, because this is serious what they're doing to us. Stand together, people.
Our next speaker, he's a comrade from a student from San Diego State, also a member of the International Socialist Organization. His name is Bo. Give it up for Bo.
Thank you. I don't know how I can follow. If that's not a public speaker, wow, watch out. So it sounds like a lot of the people here tonight are already on the same page about a lot of things, about the situation that we face. So let me ask a few questions just to check. Are the police violent? Yeah. Okay, we know that from experience, and we also know that from statistics, right? There are statistics that say that police in this country kill an average of 3 people a week. That's violent. Are the police racist? Yes. Right? We know that from experience, and we also know that from statistics. We know that one black person is killed every 28 hours by police. We know that We know that a young black man is 251 times more likely to meet death in an encounter with the police than a young white man. 251 more times more likely. The police are violent. The police are racist. That's the situation we have. Why is it that way? Bad ideas? Bad apples? What makes a situation like this? So a lot of us have been taught at school, I agree with the history, a lot of us have been taught at school, in the media, to think about racism as something that comes from bad ideas, wrong ideas, racist ideas. There's something wrong in people's heads. There's something wrong in the heads of the police officers who beat people, who kill people, who perform racist stop and searches. And there may be, but where do those ideas come from?
Education system.
Absolutely. That's what I want to do today. I want to ask you to take a moment to look at it the other way around. Consider the degree and consider the way in which racist ideas come from a racist world. Come from real material conditions of inequality. People are treated differently, and that's why people are seen differently. When we see a group of people repeatedly and in many areas of life, on the street, at school, at work, treated as different, treated as less, we begin to think of people as different or less. We begin to think of people as less, even if those people include ourselves, if we're in one of those oppressed groups. When we see these images on TV, when we see people earning less at work for doing the same work, when we see police stopping people on the street and harassing them, when we see, for example, the police in Boston place the entire city on lockdown to look for one or two guys who killed less than 5 people, I'm talking about the Boston Marathon bombing, when they can shut down a whole city and make everyone else terrified of black people, of Latinos, of Arabs and Muslims, when they can make people terrified of one another, that's an example of the system producing those racist ideas.
Propaganda.
It's propaganda, and it's propaganda that we live every day. When we live our government bombing Iraq and Syria and Yemen and Somalia and Pakistan and all of the other countries where they murder Arab and Muslim and brown people, that creates racist ideas in people's heads, in addition to bodies are on the ground. When we see people who are our brothers and sisters stopped and harassed at the airport because they might wear a headscarf, or stopped and harassed at the border because they happen to have been born on one side or the other of some bullshit imaginary line that a racist colonizer decided to draw on the ground. That's how material life creates bad ideas. So, what can we do to change these bad ideas? What can we do to change or roll back or abolish these institutions that produce the bad ideas? The media, the two-party system, the police, the border patrol, the military, our workplaces, our schools. What we can do is we can do the same thing that people in Ferguson are doing. Stand up. Stand up and stand together. Get organized. Get organized so we can think and act together. More and more of us each time, thinking and acting together, developing our own ideas from our own experience and our own history about what we know the world is like. We don't have to believe what we're told in school, and we can push back on that. We don't have to believe what they're telling us on TV, and we can push back on that. And we don't have to believe the excuses that they give for attacking and murdering people every day in our communities and around the world. And the way that we'll preserve those ideas, because ideas by themselves in your head or not connected to other people and other ideas, will wither on the vine. We need to connect those ideas by getting organized. And we need to organize independently of the institutions that support the system, of the institutions that support that 1% that people talk about. So we need to organize independently of the two-party system. We need to organize independently of the government as it exists. And we need to develop our own ideas and ability to fight back. If we can do that, which people in Ferguson have done, then we can start to build some of the power that they have built there. So the last thing that I'll say is that I think that all of us will agree we don't want to see one more Mike Brown. Not one more Mike Brown. We don't want to see one more Mike Brown, but we want to see many, many, many more Fergusons in every town and city in this country and around the world. We can stand up together, understand how the world works, fight back, and change it. Thank you.
Ortega, Victor Ortega's wife, he was killed by the police in 2012. And one other fact that I don't remember who it was, but I think it was Kathy when you were talking about the police. They're liars. They're liars. And I know that firsthand experience, but I just want to say that, you know, by us being out here fighting and stuff, it does make a difference. Although I think...
I'm going to start the stream again.
But me and my family suffered a great loss, and we personally know all about, because I could tell y'all all about the lies and stuff. But
he's here.
We're not going to do that tonight, but I know that we're first hand, so I can tell you guys that they're liars and they make up stuff, and it's not fair that the police could just make up stuff and go on the news, and I know the news is here. They could go on the news and just say whatever they want to say to have the citizens think that, you know, that the cops are the good guys, and then they want to hide it. And that makes me frustrated, because when it's somebody that you lost in your family, it's not okay for somebody to say, oh, well, we're just going to say he was pointing a gun. No, that's not right. He didn't have a gun. So, but that's what San Diego citizens know, right? That's all you heard, is that Victor had a gun. He didn't have a gun. So another thing that we need to do is the police need to be responsible to tell the truth. Yep. Because I know if I went up there lying, I'm going to jail for some time. So I'm wondering why Jonathan McCarthy ain't in jail. That's another situation we're going to have to work out. But we're fighting, and I fight all the time for justice for my husband. And not only for my husband, but it's personal to me, Michael Brown and, you know, Alan Bluford, Oscar Grant, all of them, because what happened to all of them is very personal to me, because I've been through that experience. I know what it's like for somebody to kill your husband or your son, or, you know, or your child or anything. So it's really different for the family to have to go up here, and we always support. You know, I know a lot of people here, and I thank everybody, because people that have been supporting me ever since 2012 when it first happened. I appreciate it, and I thank you so much. It's important for us to get together, stick together, and really put a stop to this, because it's not going to stop if we turn down for what. That's all I say. Turn down for what? I've been saying that. And people need to get like how it is in Ferguson, because I've been watching the news, all those thousands of people, and that makes a difference. You know, and a lot of times I think it's the lies, and I think we need, that's what I'm trying to get the police department to do, is have to come out and tell the truth. What do we know? Do you want to say something more? Oh, and racism is stupid. I want to say that that really does stem from a lot of stuff. Racism is stupid. Who has that shirt? I just seen it. But I thought that was a very cool shirt, because racism is stupid, and a lot of this, I'm telling you, it stems from racism. They just think that every black person ain't nothing, every Hispanic person ain't nothing, but that's not true. We're all humans, and we all need to be treated fairly, not just the white people. White people need to be treated fairly too. Black people, everybody. So I think racism is stupid, and F racism.
Hi everybody. I'm so sorry, but I just want to take one moment and just acknowledge the families of all these people. It's unbelievable to me. My son-in-law, Victor Ortega, it's his daughter and his son is right there, and of course his wife. They were killed, and really it brought a lot of attention to me of all these people that are being killed by the people who are paid to protect us. And this is what they're doing to us. It's not right. And something has to happen. We have to do something about it. It's not fair. It's not right. And all I hope and pray for is that the people will get united and stick together and do something, make a difference, make a change. Since this happened to us, our family, it's been very hard on us, really hard. My favorite group is Los Tigres del Norte.
Yeah!
And they say, un día a la vez. That's what we try to do. We just live one day at a time, one day at a time. But every day, we could do something in that one day. When I look at different countries, when there's some turmoil in Mexico, Africa, I see thousands of people out in the streets protesting, saying, hey, no, we're not gonna stay in our houses quiet and relax when there's too much going on. The police are on the streets every day, riding up and down, looking at you. I came across the border today, and I saw a sign that said, we pledge, we promise, to greet you with courteous and welcome you into the United States. That's not true. That is not true. I love Los Tigres del Norte. I love that group. You understand me? So when I go across the border and my stereo is blasting, right, and they look at me like they're mad at me. The border, our Homeland Security, they look at me like I did something, I committed a crime, and tell me, what's wrong with you? Turn your car off. Give me your keys. Bring the dogs, put the dogs in my car like she gotta be doing something. Why? Because I love this music, that means I gotta be doing something. So I asked the Border Patrol today, I said, I'm waiting. And he's looking at me, I said, I just read, you promised to greet me into the United States. You're supposed to welcome me. I'm waiting for you to welcome me. And he looked at me, I said, excuse me, but did you hear me? I'm waiting for the welcome.
Keep waiting.
And then he looked at me, I said, I don't know if you heard me or if you're ignoring me, but I'm still waiting for the welcome that you pledged to give to me. And he did, and I said, you know what? I looked at the man, I said, your ears are small. I said, I think maybe you didn't hear me.
They don't want us.
He heard me, but he was a little bit upset about it. And he really did have little tiny ears, so maybe it's a possibility he didn't hear me. But it's not fair to me. I don't think it's fair for people to discriminate. And it just kind of bothers me. The police bother me. Every time I see them, they're harassing people. I mean, I know the police do some good, but they do so little good that it's not even worth mentioning. They do so much wrong that the little bit of good that they do is not important. Because they protect each other. That's what's wrong. It's really wrong when they know that their partners killed somebody, and then they get together and say, okay, we got to do something. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out a way to get you out of this. You committed a crime that if you or I committed, we would be in jail, under the jail, for life. We would not get out. No possibility of parole. If we committed some of the crimes that they did. Just like she said, if I lied on a piece of paper, they would put me in jail for perjury. If I kill somebody, absolutely I would go to jail for murder. Absolutely no bail. So I don't understand why they, across the street and all across the United States, why can they get away with killing unarmed people? I really do remember, and this is not to divulge my age, but I really do remember when the police only pulled their guns out if you had a weapon. If you didn't have a weapon, then they would use some other methods, beat you up, throw you on the ground. But now, it's for, I mean, they just roll up on you. They're like gangbangers. They're gangbangers with a badge. That's what they are. Bang, bang, bang. And they roll up with lights and everything. They don't care who's watching. I saw one video on Facebook, and the police lady said, "We're not scared of your cameras." So they're like, "We don't care." You know why? Because they know they're going to be protected. Cameras and everything, they'll find a way to justify what they did. So even if I pull my camera out every time I see the police. I was at the border the other day, and the car was there parked, and nobody was in the car. So the police rolled up, opened up their trunk. I think they was going to put the little jack thing, on your tire. But then the man came out. He only had one leg, and he came out on his crutches. That's my car. So I'm with my camera. Like, what are they going to do with this man? Only one leg. So they looked at each other, and they said, "Okay, go." Then they seen a young man there, minding his own business, waiting for a ride. And they just went up to him, "What are you doing here? Who are you waiting for?" And to me, that wasn't their business. He wasn't committing any crime. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Why did they have to harass the man and ask him? He said, "I'm waiting for a ride." So they was like, they see me with the camera. I'm not hiding. I don't hide. I'm right here. I'm protecting somebody. You're going to see something. So, and that's another thing. We got to make sure our cameras is charged. My phone is not charged. Right now, I've been out all day, and it's not charged. It's important all the time. Keep your cameras, your phones with the camera charged. It's important. Thank you guys so much.
One more thing I forgot to mention, when she said don't talk to the police, don't, because I'm just 2 minutes. But, I used to be a person that trusted the police and thought that the police were so, on our side, how the police are supposed to be. But when you went through what I went through, you will realize that the police are not, I repeat, they are not your friend. And I'm telling you, they basically pretty much do whatever they want to do because, and you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because not enough people stand up and make a difference. And that's really what it takes. I'm telling you, Martin Luther King and them, they made a difference. And that's the same thing with the police. Like, that's the only thing that's going to stop. And it's sad, but it's true. In San Diego, we don't get that Ferguson action out here. That needs to stop. That's why I put on Facebook, remember, Aaron, I said turn down for what? Because people really need to turn up when it comes to the police.
That's right.
They are out here to kill anybody that got a problem with how they are.
FTP.
Yeah, don't wait until it's too late, I don't wish this on nobody, and I just pray that everything's going to change in the recent years. But until then, we have to make some noise, and we really have to put a stop to this. And if it takes gathering around like this, a couple of weeks or whatever, we need to do that. And I'm still fighting for justice for Victor Ortega first and foremost, and we're not done yet. And we're gonna be out here, and the San Diego Police Department is gonna see the Campbell/Ortega family forever until Jonathan McCarthy go to jail.
Yeah. I want to bring up a comrade from Colectivo Zapatista. It's David Morales. He'll be saying a few words. Give it up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Morales. I'm from Colectivo Zapatista, and I just want to share some words of solidarity. Colectivo Zapatista here in San Diego is a collective made up of individuals who believe in autonomy, who believe in justice, who are anti-capitalist, who believe in a world without oppression. So as Colectivo Zapatista, we demand an immediate end to the abuse of power by law enforcement. We are against police brutality. We are against harassment, racial profiling, deportations, and any other type of intimidation tactic carried out by any law enforcement agency that carries out the government's oppressive agenda. We understand that as long as the U.S. continues this agenda, the police will always be oppressive. They will always be against the people.
Big picture.
We seek to move forward with other alternatives, community guidelines, our own ways of keeping our community safe. We understand that our people in our communities fear the police. They are intimidated the police. But we understand that another world is possible. Right? We know this. We understand this. We must believe this. That another world is possible. Another world without police violence. Another world without oppression, without racial profiling, right? Without deportations. We have to believe this, right? We have to understand this in order to move forward, right? And we have to make this other world possible together. We have to work together to make this other world possible, right? So we stand in solidarity with all the victims of police brutality, harassment, deportations. We stand in solidarity with the family of Michael Brown. We stand in solidarity with the students in Ayotzinapa, Guerrero, Mexico, who are still missing. Right? We demand answers from the government, right? From the police that took them, from the government that took them. We demand answers. We demand that they are held accountable. Right? We want justice, that's right. We want justice, okay? So another world is possible, right? We have to make this possible. We have to believe that it is possible, right? I want to take this opportunity to invite you all. This Friday, Colectivo Zapatista is holding a Cine en el Barrio. We're going to be screening the film Fruitvale Station, right, on the murder, the assassination of Oscar Grant, right, by the cops in Oakland. So we will be having a screening of Fruitvale Station. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to have activities, and it's an opportunity for us to come together again, right, to talk about maybe further actions, right, things that we can do to continue, right, because this doesn't end today. We have to continue to organize. We have to continue to organize to avoid this police brutality, to end this oppression, to end this harassment, these deportations. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you all again.
All right, next speaker is another student from here, from City College, who's actually a victim himself of police brutality, and he has a story he wants to share with you. So give it up for Emmanuel.
Hello, everybody. My name is Emmanuel Weimer, and I'm my throat, okay. And I'm a victim of police brutality. I want to start by saying that I was beat, tortured, and mangled by Charlie Police and the Border Patrol. What was my crime? What was my crime? My crime was flaunting my indigenous pride at the border. That was my crime.
That's not a crime.
There we go. And there I was on a Sunday morning when Charlie Officer Delgado came behind me and he began to punch me in the back of the head. More officers joined in. I surrendered, and the beating continued. I looked at Officer Delgado and I say to him, I go, "What are you doing? Work with Tamils people." He looked at me and he said, "I don't care about that, eh? I care about the rules." And this is when more Charlie cops grabbed me, and Officer Delgado was trying to hyper extend my shoulder beyond 90-degree angle in order to rip it out of his socket. At that point, the officers have me and they're saying, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." I say to them, "I'm not resisting." And then they try to slam my head into the MTS vehicle. After that, the Border Patrol joined in and this hate crime. At that point, I'm pinned up against the vehicle with 7, 8, 6 officers holding me, saying, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." But I wasn't resisting. So at that point, they grabbed me and they slammed me onto the concrete, and they continued to beat me. And each officer beat me until he was physically exhausted, and then the next one would come in and beat me. As I continued to call for the police, call the police, call the police. I know, right? And and then the Border Patrol looks at me and they say, go back to Mexico, go get the Mexican police, right? So this beating continued for about a half an hour and then towards the end of my beating, Officer Delgado grabs my wrist and when I'm handcuffed, and he twists my wrist backwards, making the back of my hand touch my arm. And at that point, the Border Patrol looks at me and they say, you must like guys being on top of you, huh? And then finally, people call the police. And the police come, and the first thing that Officer Flores does from the San Diego Police Department is he comes up to me and he takes off my poncho. And I want to know why. Did it offend him? So at that point, I'm being charged and arrested for assaulting an officer. And I look at the cop and I tell him I need an ambulance. I need medical attention, but I'm refused medical attention. Then the police will eventually take me to the county lockup where I'm also refused medical attention by the sheriffs. They come and they try to give me food, but I tell them no. I say I'm on a hunger strike until I get medical attention. So a dinner rolls by, or I should say a nighttime, and I'm sleeping on the bench, and they open up the cage and they throw the food in my face at this point. Eventually I would bail out, go to the hospital and stuff, but I just couldn't help but to think that my whole life I have been taught about the American dream. I was taught that America is better. America will grant me freedom. America will give me proper education. America is a place of justice. America is progress. But I have never seen the fruits of these promises. Instead, I find us in the same place that we have been in for the past 522 years, under attacked, caged, and subjugated to unjust laws. That's right. This is the criminalization of our indigenous culture. This is a criminalization of our brown skin, and this makes me sad because I know that our indigenous features are associated with terms like illegal, language that is stagnant and genocidal.
Yep. The colonists are illegal.
And that day, the police state descended upon me, and they tried to break my hands, they tried to break my ribs, my head, and my spirit. But they were and they are unsuccessful. And thank you. And I know that our communities will win this fight against police terror. So I just want to remind everybody that the best way is with a community organization. If you're at city, you could come to a students in power meeting. If you're in the community, there's ISO meetings over there in that building at 6 on Thursdays, and we will smash this police state. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. This woman is the reason why I am doing what I'm doing today. So I just wanted to mention that. So both of them. So.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Gracias por invitarnos. Gracias por su apoyo a los jóvenes desaparecidos de Ayotzinapa.
Micrófono más cerca.
Gracias por su sensibilidad al dolor de las madres y padres de los estudiantes. Que el dolor de estas madres de familia toque nuestros corazones y transformemos este dolor en resistencia, en lucha. Los vamos a transformar en denuncia hasta no verlos con vidas y entregados a sus familias. Pero también no descansaremos hasta no ver en la cárcel a los responsables de este demencial crimen. Hacemos responsable a los 3 estados de gobierno, al municipal, al estatal y al presidente de la República. Pedimos que sean juzgados en tribunales internacionales para que se les castigue como crimen de Estado, crimen de lesa humanidad. Me pregunto, ¿por qué los mataron? Me pregunto, ¿por qué los desaparecieron? Los mataron por ser jóvenes, por ser indígenas, por ser hijos de campesinos, pero sobre todo por ser inteligentes, por tener un pensamiento crítico, reflexivo, analítico. Los mataron por tener una gran conciencia política revolucionaria. Los mataron por haber tomado la educación como una herramienta de transformación social hacia las capas más marginadas. Las normales rurales y sus estudiantes, ante los ojos del narcogobierno mexicano, representan un peligro a los planes de entreguista de la derecha y sus reformas estructurales, que no es más que el saqueo de México de sus recursos naturales para las transnacionales. Las normales rurales de México siempre han tratado de desaparecer a los gobiernos en turno. Siempre las han calumniado que son semilleros de guerrilleros, que son una bomba de tiempo, etc. Esta masacre en Guerrero no es nuevo. En los años 60, los estudiantes de la Universidad Nacional de Guerrero se fueron en huelga y el narcogobierno mandó el ejército matando 20 estudiantes. En 67 o el 70, el gobierno mandó matar a 40 trabajadores del coco, que le llamaban copreros. En los 80, la policía motorizada asesinó a 17 campesinos en Aguas Blancas, solo por exigir reivindicaciones sociales. Y ahora en septiembre de 2014, 6 asesinados y 43 estudiantes, y que por información del padre Soralinde, él cree que están quemados vivos, que están desaparecidos, que no están desaparecidos, que ya están muertos. Lo que pasa que una barbarie nos hace que olvidemos las pasadas barbaries. En México tenemos una narcodictadura que beneficia al capital, con el objetivo de quedarse con México como un botín de piratas. El narco en México está coludido en todas sus esferas de poder. Nómbrese políticos, banqueros, militares, polizonte, incluyendo inclusive a los medios de información masiva como es Televisa. Por eso de nuestra resistencia y de nuestra solidaridad con las madres y padres de los estudiantes desaparecidos, no descansaremos hasta encontrarlos. Hasta la victoria.
¡Hasta la victoria!
Porque vivos se los llevaron y vivos los queremos. Vivos se los llevaron y vivos los queremos. Thank you everyone for coming here today in support of in protest against police brutality, police repression, police terrorism, and also and especially to those of you who came here today to join us in solidarity in the global action in support and solidarity with Ayotzinapa. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to interpret exactly what my compañero Felix Garcia said, and so that everybody that didn't understand the message in English, in Spanish, will receive it in English. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your solidarity with the young people who have disappeared in Ayotzinapa. Thank you for your sensitivity to the pain of the mothers and the fathers of the students. The pain of these mothers of these families touched our hearts and transformed this pain into resistance, into solidarity, into struggle, and we will transform it into denouncing peacefully until we see them alive and turned over to their families. But also, we will not rest until we see those responsible for this insane crime in prison. We hold responsible the 3 levels of government, the municipal, the state,
and the President of Mexico. We ask that they be tried in international tribunals so that they can be punished of a crime against the state and crimes against humanity. I ask myself, why did they kill him? They killed him for being young, for being indigenous, for being sons and daughters of farm workers, for having critical thinking mind, reflective and analytical. They killed them for having a great political revolutionary consciousness. They killed them for having taken their education as a tool for transformation for the most marginalized communities, because they were youth, they would return to their communities with their knowledge. Because they did not accept the study plans of the International Monetary Fund. They were seen as bad in the eyes of the government. These rural schools and their students in the eyes of the Mexican narco government represent a danger to the sellout plan of the right and their structural reforms that are nothing other than draining Mexico's natural resources to the transnationals. The rural schools in Mexico have always been in danger of being eliminated. They are always classified as seeds of guerrillas, and that they are a time bomb, etc. This massacre in Ayotzinapa is not new. In the 1960s, in Guerrero, the students of the Universidad Nacional de Guerrero were on strike, and the bad government, they sent the army to kill 20 students. In 1967, this bad government ordered the killing of 40 to 50 workers of the coconut. In the 1980s, the motorcycle police assassinated 17 farm workers in Aguas Blancas for merely social benefits. And now in September 2014, 6 assassinated and 43 disappeared students. What happens is that these barbaric actions have the effect of making us forget the past barbaric actions. In Mexico, we have a narco dictatorship that benefits the capitalists, and that has as its objective to keep Mexico's pirate treasure. The narco in Mexico is in partnership with all the levels of power. Politicians, bankers, military, police, including the mass media of information like Televisa, which was recently caught transporting cocaine in Nicaragua. For this reason, this is our resistance and our solidarity with the mothers and fathers of the students who have disappeared. And we will not rest until they are found and justice is done. Porque vivos se los llevaron. ¡Vivos se los llevaron! ¡Todos somos Ayotzinapa! ¡Todos somos Ayotzinapa! Gracias. Thank you, Kathy.
Let's give it up for Felix Garcia and Bertha Gutierrez.
Gracias.
Manny from Occupy LA, do you want to catch on? I'm going to be handing out battery-operated candles for the march because we will be marching soon. We're going to be loud, and we're actually going to take a trip around the police station to let them know that we're here. And we won't stop. This is just the beginning.
I forgot to mention that this global action in support and solidarity to Ayotzinapa is a 2-day global action, today and tomorrow. And tomorrow we will be meeting at Chicano Park at 6 o'clock p.m. to do a solidarity in the continuance of this global action in support of Ayotzinapa. I hope to see everybody that's here there. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Manny Aguilar from Occupied Los Angeles. I came out here to support the San Diego people because your problem is my problem, and my problem is your problem. I'm kind of very sad because there's a lot of things. I'm kind of sad that I have to bring my passport because when I go back to LA tomorrow, I have to show my passport at Sacramento. I mean, come on, dude. The border, I didn't cross the border crossed me, you know? One of the things that we need to educate the young people, though, this is what makes me sad. The education system, like this brother said, is out of control. They say, welcome to America. Welcome to America, dude. I've been in Mexico. I'm in Latin America already. So what do you mean, welcome to America? You should be telling me, welcome to the USA or welcome to Northern America. Now, another sad thing that makes me about people not being educated. Why do you call me an illegal alien? I came here as an undocumented alien. Nobody's illegal. I don't know where you guys say illegal alien stuff, you know? I mean, illegal alien makes me look like I came from Mars. And the only reason I'm really supporting, the Occupy movement down here, because you're right by the border. The checkpoints aren't constitutional. And I'm really sad right now because being in the entertainment world, I'm telling my colleagues what's happening. A lot of people are wondering, Manny, you're very emotional. You're from the heart all the time, but today you're super emotional. What's wrong with you? How can I not be sad what's going on in the state of Guerrero when I am from Acapulco, Guerrero? I'm from Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico. That's my hometown. The only thing that I do love, and I don't like violence, but man, they're burning down the buildings, the government buildings, stuff like that. And we're doing it the right way, because the brothers, I don't understand the brothers. When we burned South Central down in LA, they should have been burning Beverly Hills. Why did you burn down your own neighborhoods? I don't get it, And so if you guys want to burn down some, go for government buildings, don't go for your neighborhoods. But one of the sad things that I want to say to all the young people here and the people here, if this was Mexico, I would not have room to even speak, because it would be packed. I don't understand why it's not packed. So please, please, turn off your TVs. Forget about the charges right now. Forget about what's going on in American Idol. Come and protest. TV is obsolete right now. We need you to be out here, not watching TV and voting for American Idol. So, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up,
don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
don't shoot. Keep on pushing through. Systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow. Racist systems got to go. Hands up, don't shoot. 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 shoot! Hands up! Don't 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 shoot! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't All we want is total freedom. Revolution 2014.
Get up, stand up.
Don't give up the fight.
Stand up. No justice, no peace. No racist police. 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 No justice, no peace. No racist
Okay. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No citizen, no citizen.
We don't need them. All we need is total freedom. Fuck the pen. We don't need them. All we need is total freedom. Fuck the pen. We don't need them. All we need is total freedom. Fuck the pen.
We don't need them. All we want is total freedom.
Fuck the pen.
We don't need them. All we want is total freedom.
Fuck the pen.
We don't need them. All we want is total freedom. Fuck the pen. We don't need them.
All we need is total freedom.
We don't need them. All we want is total freedom. We don't need them. All we want is total freedom. We don't need them. All we want is total freedom. Fuck the pen.
We don't need them.
Fuck the pen.
Hands up, don't shoot! 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 Hands
Why can't we go down there? Why can't we go down there? This is a free country exercising our First Amendment. Why are you suppressing our freedom of speech? Why are you suppressing our freedom of speech? We have the right to assemble. We have the right to assemble. We have the right to assemble. This is a peaceful protest. We have a right to assemble. This is a peaceful protest. These are our fucking streets. Don't shoot. Our streets. 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 Our streets.
taking a video and he wants to edit and show what
Go past the police station.
With their hands in the air! Please don't kill anyone anymore!
Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Hands up! Don't shoot!
If their hands are up! Don't shoot! If their hands are up! Don't shoot! If their hands are up! Don't shoot! If their hands are up! Don't shoot! Hands 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 up! Don't shoot! Tired of feeling paranoid instead of protected when they're around. I'm sure what they're here for. We see, as in Ferguson, they will go to extreme lengths and enact martial law on a town to protect their own rather than protect the people that pay to have them, but we pay for their existence. They are a service to us, and they will protect their own before the citizens in the communities that they've sworn to protect. That's right. Now, we are giving too much credit to legislation in the government. Forget the body cameras. We need to have our own cameras out. We need to be our own media. We need to start recording when we see somebody pulled over.
That's right! That's
You know
right!
body camera evidence goes missing. You know all kinds of cover-ups go on in this branch. And these
In that society.
they will go to extreme lengths. Pull
All
out your
of
phones.
it.
It is not against the law to record the police. They cannot take your phones. They cannot jail you. They might try to intimidate you, but you are within your right to legally record police activity. Don't wait for legislation. Police the police. Record the police. Film the police. We have to stick together. We can't put our trust in these people. We already know that. Thank you. Brother to my right, hermano to my left. I understand you. All we ask is for empathy. You guys were here once. We know you picked this job because it has fucking awesome benefits. We know you're in the force because you have benefits. Your families are being taken care of. Hermano, I'm talking to you. I know I can see the look in your face. You feel kind of like shitty right now, but yeah, we're one. We're all one. We're all one on the inside.
Get your hand off your gun, pig.
All we ask
You don't
is
need
for
your
empathy
gun.
for the people that are mentally, incapable. People that are on the street, the homeless. Don't abuse them. Put yourself in their shoes. They don't know what's going on. Don't abuse them. Don't abuse the system. Put yourself in their shoes. That's all we ask for is empathy.
Let us carry guns too.
Empathy. Don't put
Let us carry all that too.
Don't be paranoid. We're like you.
You ain't above us. You guys are gonna be running when we start defending ourselves. Yeah. And then bring in the army and all that type of shit.
Yep.
We need backup.
Think you're all fucking brave and shit because you got a gun now. Wait till they all come out.
Hey man, I got something to say to you, cop. When you put your hand on that gun, does it make you feel secure?
Take your hand
Does
off!
it? You should take your hand off that gun, man. Looks like you're ready to pull it out and shoot
You're
somebody.
a human being like us.
You gonna shoot
You
us?
should keep your hands off that gun.
You are one of us. Get your hand off.
What's your
You
name,
was one of
officer?
us, man. Why
What's
you
your
put your
name,
hand on that
officer?
gun?
What's your name and badge
Do you
number?
feel more secure when you do that?
B. Stanley. What's your badge number?
Do you feel more secure when you put the hand on the gun, knowing that you can kill an innocent child in this crowd? Do you feel secure when you do that? Do you really feel secure?
Why you need that?
Why do you need the gun?
Why?
Why do you have to put your hand on the gun? Looks like you're ready to shoot somebody.
It looks like he's about to cry.
Why? Why you look away? Ask yourself. Why are you looking away? Huh?
Is this what you signed up for? Huh? You think you're fucking protecting us?
For you, man?
You think you're protecting
because
us?
You put your hand on the gun. You think you're safe because you have a badge because you're hiding behind it. Because when you're not in that uniform, you're just like everybody else.
You think stopping us on the street
just like
because we
everybody
fucking
else.
dress
Behind
different
that
than you
badge,
is fucking
you know,
justified?
behind that badge, you ain't nobody. Behind that badge, you think you somebody. That's why the way you act. That's the reason why.
Fucking gangbanger, 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 gangbanger.
That's what they are.
You guys are the most violent gang in fucking San Diego.
Hey, another gang against us.
On the gun. Because he thinks he can protect himself.
Forth, we're thinking everything's cool. You know, what is the Lord telling y'all though? You got this every day. You wake up and you talk to God about how you live y'all's lives every single day, killing innocent people. And it's not fair. It's fair to the families all over the globe, all over the earth. And you think to yourself, you think you're behind the badge, and it's not right. And you know what I'm saying? You know, get yourselves together, because there's no time to waste. Because we all got to go someday. Keep the faith, keep the peace. You know, stop killing innocent people. And that's real talk.